welcome to OSG Live, where we inspire you to fall in love with your business. Get set to join your hosts, Tanya, Becky, Kylene, and Aaron for your weekly motivation. It's time to share your wins, express gratitude, and choose positive changes. Jump into the comments and share your thoughts with the rest of the OSG community. Coming up, OSG Wellness Super Tools to nourish your mind and body, small business success gems to uncover hidden gems of business excellence, and the uncommon mindset to challenge the status quo. Your journey to success and happiness starts now.
Good morning. Welcome into OSG Live here on this wonderful Wednesday morning. And we've already got Chuck checking in this morning. So we were like, he was right on time this morning. So good morning, Chuck. Thank you for being here. So my name's Aaron Montgomery with our Success Group. And our mission is to help you fall deeper in love with your business through building a foundation and through the fundamentals. And welcome in this morning.
And I'm Kylene Montgomery with Rise, Shine, Smile Yoga.
I'm Becky Kutzer with BK Custom Tees.
Awesome. Well, as you can tell, we are down a Fab 4 member again this week. So hopefully you guys are not just passing the sickness around. I don't know how that's possible.
Virtually, I'm not exactly sure. I don't think we have the same thing, but
so Tanya's
no
feeling
fun to be sick.
Yeah, no, for sure. You went through it. Now poor Tanya's going through it. I just, hopefully it is not transferable virtually here because Kylene and I don't want to be sick.
I'll try not to cough.
No, so just great wishes, best wishes to Tanya for a speedy recovery, and I'm glad she made the choice. She was going to power through, but I'm glad she made the choice to get a little extra sleep. Like we said the same thing about you last week too, Becky. Yeah. So I'm glad you got some rest and got back on track a little bit there. So. And again, if you guys are tuned in live, like Chuck there, just good morning. But also we want to talk to you guys about something we believe in quite heavily. Kylene, you want to share with us about gratitude here?
Yeah. Yep. Our superpower of gratitude. It's something we all have access to. When we're in that state of gratitude, we're in a state of abundance. And therefore, we start attracting even more good things to us. We start paying attention to all those amazing things that we have in our life to appreciate and to be grateful for. And then it raises our vibration and we attract more positive energy. So we want to do that this morning. We want to bring more positive energy to everyone listening today. So if you are listening live, go ahead and share what you're grateful for this morning. I'm going to go ahead and get started. This morning, I'm grateful for a lot, but I'm really grateful for the sunshine. I love when it gets bright out in the morning and I can wake up with the sun on me. It's like fuel for me. It energizes me. And I seem to just wake up a lot easier and start my day.
What about you, Becky?
Well, I'm extremely grateful that the wind has went down. We had some very, very high winds yesterday morning. I think we topped out at 73. So today is calmer. Yesterday, even in the afternoon, it had calmed down. It was raining, but I'm grateful that it's rain and not snow also. So
there you go. All right. So what are you grateful for upcoming? You were talking about something just a second ago. I thought maybe you should share with the rest of the listeners here. What are you doing tomorrow?
Oh, I scheduled a whole self-care day. I'm like, what did I do? I don't know. I scheduled myself out of the office for a self-care day, and I'm so excited. There you go.
That's the power of that's the benefit of being a small business owner, right? We talk about having the right to work every hour of every day, and sometimes it feels like that. But you also can on a Thursday schedule a self-care day, and so I'm grateful that you are doing that for yourself, Becky.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm grateful for just I'm looking ahead here. I'm heading to Tinley Park on actually tomorrow, and then we'll be teaching on Fridays. So I'm grateful for that opportunity to get to go meet people, see people face to face, and have some wonderful interactions with them. So I'm just grateful that I have that opportunity, and Kylene lets me sneak out of the house and takes care of everything while I'm gone. So she takes care of everything while I'm here too. But
teamwork.
Teamwork. Yep. Definitely. So, if you guys that are tuned in, again, we want to hear what you are grateful for. One other quick thing about gratitude, I don't want to run us out of time here, but when you were talking about it earlier, Kylene, I had this thought that, like, if you're ever in a bad mood, right, you're kind of feeling like, Kylene and I were joking the other day, she was feeling a little sassy. This was, things happen, right? The reality is, life's not always rainbows and ponies, no matter how hard you try. And even somebody like Kylene, who leads with her positivity, can have a bad day, and that's totally fine. I mean, I probably have more bad days than good days sometimes, but the reality is we have that ability to kind of go choose that gratitude. So think about it this way. Have you ever really gone and looked for something that you're actually grateful for? Not like a kind of, you're grateful for something that you don't have, right? Be grateful for something that is in your life, the sunshine, the fact that you've got a roof over your head, whatever that thing might be, and then try to have a bad time after that, right? Like, try to be in a bad mood and be grateful at the same time. It's just not possible. So I find that to be, for me, where that superpower really shows itself in action. So
I mean, I think that's what it makes it a superpower is, you can have those bad moments, and then you start to think about the things in your life that you have to be grateful for, and it immediately starts changing your energy. So you don't stay in that negative headspace for too long. It's a tool that we have to get back to where we want to be.
Yeah. All right. Becky, any other thoughts on that before we send Kylene off?
No, I agree with that. It's hard to, I had a bad day the other day too. And as it turned out, it ended up probably being a blessing. So I turned it around that day. So
yeah. And that's exactly it, right? It's that, okay, now I can look back on those experiences that maybe weren't all that positive. That's such a great reminder, Becky, that just, I can actually be grateful for something that in the moment felt negative, right? That's awesome.
Very much so.
What a very good share. Okay, Kylene, are you ready to, you've got the wellness toolbox, and are you going to share? You're all set to go?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
I'll do my best without Tanya.
All right. Well, yeah, it'll be awesome. Here we go.
Hello, everyone. Today, our topic is believe in yourself. It's really one of the most important parts about moving forward in your life and achieving your dreams. Because really, to live the life of your dreams, we need to believe in ourselves. We need to believe it is possible. It's called self-esteem, self-confidence, self-assurance. It's just a belief. It's what we have to create our desired outcomes. It's our choice, really, what we want to believe. It's even like an attitude that we have developed over time. It's a habit. And so the choice of what we believe is truly up to us. And I think when we think about it that way, you realize how powerful it is and how much control we really do have in the outcomes that we have in our life. It really starts with us believing it is possible. And so a few things to remember is to assume in favor of you. So don't assume that you're not enough in what area it is that you're wanting to achieve. Assume that it is going to be possible for you. Assume that you do have the skills to get to where it is that you want to get going, not looking at all the problems, right? We're looking at all the possibilities that it is going to be possible for us. I know for me, especially whenever I start to do something, the enough factor comes into play. I'm not enough. I'm not smart enough. I don't know enough. Whatever it is, well, what does that do? That starts creating self-doubt. And then what happens then is we have more negative feelings, and then we stop moving forward. So really just assume and truly believe at your core that it is possible and you are going to be successful. Aaron wrote, those darn, oops. Okay, I'm not going to mess with it. Those darn labels. Yeah. So we put the labels on things for whatever reason. And what happens then is then we have a meaning attached to it. But what if we're just let go of the labels and just allow what happens, but still come back to that belief that this is all part of your journey moving forward. So assume in favor of yourself is part of it. Act as if it is possible, and then we're going to do the things that we need to do to achieve our dreams, to achieve those big goals. You know, when we think about all the ways it won't work, well, guess what's going to show up? We're going to pay attention to those things that are potential roadblocks for us, and we're going to focus right there. And therefore, we're not allowing all these things to come to us that is going to allow us to move forward to achieving our dreams. So act as if it is possible. Act as if it already has happened. We talk about sometimes the future you party with OSG, and we really are acting as if we have achieved all of our dreams 5 years from today, or however long in the future that you want to go. But what it's doing, it's creating that thought pattern in our brain. It's telling our subconscious that this has already happened. So when these things show up in our life that may be a little uncomfortable, our brain's already ready to go into action because it thinks it's already been there, right? It's more comfortable to move into those moments. So it really is a powerful tool to act as if it is possible for you. The other part of believing in yourself is one of Tony Robbins' famous things is where focus goes, energy flows. So this kind of comes back with the power of our thoughts, when our beliefs, you know, it's that attitude. So if we're constantly thinking about all the pain points, well, guess what? We're going to get more of those pain points. So it's that whole law of attraction going to work. So let's focus on the solutions and really catch yourself. Don't beat yourself up though. So sometimes these are like hardwired in us, you know, from growing up, we see all these behaviors and sometimes we develop them over time. But guess what? Aaron reminded me of this the other day. You know, we were just one thought from a different future. We can change our thought. And guess what? If we just constantly remind ourselves as we go through a different thought pattern that's more in favor of us, over time, the magic happens and we start to create a better thought pattern that serves us in our life and achieving our goals. So where focus goes, energy flows. So I really love that quote from Tony Robbins. Looks like Aaron wrote, I got to talk yesterday in the Fall in Love with Your Business Facebook group about flow and focus. Shared that flow follows focus. I love it. Yeah. So once we're like in that correct mindset, right, then all of a sudden these things start to fall into place because we kind of eliminated or kind of took down some of those roadblocks just to allow it to happen and flourish for us. Yeah, I'm glad you shared that. Thank you. And then one of the things in our house that we try not to do, and I still get called out on it every now and then, I'm getting better, but we have to give up the words I can't, because it really takes away our power. So it's a choice. It's not that you can't, you're choosing not to. So I can't is just a word that kind of just stops us in our tracks. So if we're making all this good headway and then all of a sudden we say I can't, well, guess what? That's going to be your outcome. And so really it's that word is so powerful for our ability to move forward. So if we can really begin to be aware of when we're using I can't, and kind of just eliminate that from our vocabulary and realize it's our choice. You know, we can choose again in favor of ourselves, in favor of us having the tools that we need to achieve something. It might be hard. It might be really big and outside of our comfort zone, but we just take that first step, right? And we survive that risk, build our confidence a little bit more, and then we take that next step and continue to move forward. So we really need to eliminate that word I can't from our vocabulary. And I think that this next area, when we believe in ourselves, is huge. Remember that we are unique. So we're unique. There's no one else in the world like us. But sometimes we see other people doing things and we want to be like them, or we think it has to look like them. And then when it doesn't look like them, we're hard on ourselves. We start to have that judgment inside, and then we start to doubt our own abilities. But remember, we are unique. We all have different talents. We all have different strengths. We all have different goals. Our business looks different. Our why behind our business is different for all of us. So some people are going to like us and they're going to be attracted to us, and that's awesome. But some people won't. And we have to be okay with those that just do not fit what's important to us. And that's okay, because there's plenty of people out there that are going to be attracted to you for your uniqueness. I just think we were all given these unique talents because the world needs that. If we all were the same, life would be pretty boring. We wouldn't stand out in any way. I just think we need to embrace why it's different for us and really build upon that, because that's what's going to allow us to feel more genuine and connected with our business, with our why behind we do anything, is remembering that this is me and that's okay. I'm perfectly imperfect. I'm perfectly fine the way I am. Wherever you're at is perfectly fine, right? So just know that you can build upon that, and that is a strength. Looks like Aaron wrote, that is a great reminder. We are all unique. Comparison is the thief of joy. Theodore Roosevelt. So true. As soon as we start, and it is something that you have to be aware of. So sometimes our brain just can naturally go to that comparison, right? But understanding that it just looks different for you. Enjoy where you're at. Be grateful for your unique gifts that you have to offer the world. That's going to build your confidence. That's going to build that trust with yourself so you can continue to move forward. The other thing that I was reading about the other day, I don't know if you guys have heard of Brene Brown, but she talked about this idea of the need of why we do not need love, and why we need to really understand the difference of fitting in and belonging. So this one I think was huge when you remember your uniqueness. So this is what she wrote, and I'm going to read it, and I apologize. But fitting in means we are changing ourselves to make other people like us. So we're kind of like a chameleon, right? With that, whatever setting that we're in. Thus, we're not being true to our uniqueness that we have. And then belonging is being accepted for who you are and being okay to stand alone with who you are and being a part of something bigger. So I think I think that's so huge when you think about that. We all want to blend in sometimes and fit in, and we all have that adaptability, and that serves its purpose, right? It allows us to survive and continue, to have those connection points. But if we're not being genuine to who we are, if we're forcing this other persona or this other role or our business and trying to force it into this box, then it really doesn't fit in. We're not going to be as connected. We're not going to get that positive feeling. We're not going to get that fulfillment that we truly deserve, right? And so when we just truly embrace our uniqueness and then surround ourselves with those wonderful people who just accept us for who we are and know that we're all growing together, it's really powerful. So I just really, really, really love that. There's a big article, and I can find the article for you guys about the fitting in versus belonging. But I think it's really important when you look at your business and look at where you're going and understanding our uniqueness and how that plays such a huge factor in our success. Let's see, Aaron, I think she's most famous for the man in the arena speech. Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's a really powerful powerful speech. And it kind of comes with, feeling judged, and who you allow to give their opinion to you. And, the man in the arena speech is something that I've watched several times, and I think I could probably listen to it again, because it is so powerful, and it's such a strong reminder again, we're doing something big. We're getting outside of our comfort zone, and we are not staying in that safe area. Therefore, we're putting ourselves out there to be judged. We're putting ourselves out there to potentially fail, even though fail is not a bad thing, but we're putting ourselves out there to do something really uncomfortable. But what happens with that is growth, and we become even stronger as a person as a result. So if people want to share their opinion or anything like that when we are struggling a little bit because we're doing something really, really big, that's on them. You should be proud of that. You put your foot out there. You took that first step outside your comfort zone to do something big that really matters to you. And that's something to celebrate. Okay, so in closing, just remember that your dreams and your business and your life really starts, excuse me, with the belief that you have in your own abilities and your success in yourself. And we want to choose in favor of ourselves, really start creating that attitude that develops over time, that it's our choice of how we show up. It's our choice that we can choose to believe that it is going to be possible for ourselves. And then eliminate the word I can't. Always remember it's our choice, and we can choose that it is going to be a success. It is going to be something worthwhile, and then celebrate your uniqueness along the way. I think that's really going to just get you in the right headspace to be successful. It's going to take you through those difficult moments in your business, in your life, and really allow you to come out and be genuine to yourself. So that's what we have today for the Wellness Toolbox. I'd love to bring Tanya and Aaron back to get their take a little bit more on this. But
how about we bring Becky back because Tanya's still sick?
Oh, I'm so sorry, Becky.
So I didn't mean to cut you off.
I don't think I can fill Tanya's shoes, but I'll try.
Sorry, Becky.
All right. Give us your best Tanya impression, Becky.
Well, she'd be telling me, I think I heard actually a lot of these things from Tanya this week because I had a bad day the other day. There was some of this happening. The one thing I wrote down was what I hear Aaron saying is it's not the fake it till you make it. And we need to flip it to the believe it till you achieve it. And I think that goes right in with this for, believing in yourself, the uniqueness, that was a reminder I had this week, both between both Tanya and my husband. So there was no wallowing in pity or staying down for very long after I had spoke with those two. So it was definitely a good reminder. And this was and maybe that's why it came up this week, because that's what we needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's really good. I think
powerful.
You're exactly right there, Becky / Tanya. Because I wrote down the fitting in versus belonging, right? Like, I think we want to fit in, but it's more about belonging, right? Fitting in isn't being fitting in tends to be, I just want to be like everybody else, right? Where belonging means that you're supported, right? Because you said, you had that support system there to remind you, okay, we understand, here's the hug, now change your mind. Right. So it's kind of finding that balance. I know that's an area where I struggle with because I want to go right to the solution, but you need to get that hug first and then get to the solution together, right? Being supported and, you got this, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, so to speak. So I thought that was really good too. So, all right. Well, that was fantastic, Kylene. Thank you for sharing all of that and bringing us that amazing information. If anybody that is tuned in live right now has any comments, has any thoughts that they want to share about that or anything else, we still want to hear what you're grateful for here. So I know it's bright and early this morning, but get that keyboard out if you can, please, and share your thoughts on that. That self-belief is just really a something we got to be intentional about, though. I think some people just think it's natural, like, oh, that person's just confident. They just have all this self-belief. No, that's not true. You're right. Self-confidence comes from surviving a risk, and therefore we need to kind of develop that, right? It's a learned skill that just comes from continually believing in yourself, making that choice, right? I think, Becky, you just hit it exactly right. Like, you're going to have the down times. We're not saying you got to just fake it and just pretend like everything's rainbows and ponies all the time. It's changing that into accepting that downtime, and then what's the tool or the resource that I have to move beyond that, right? And so we could talk about this forever, but
it's just a really good reminder. I mean, and it was very, like you said, for me, it was very timely. It was something that had already spoke this week with me, and
nice.
So it was very timely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's
amazing how that always works out, doesn't it? For sure. Okay. Well, let's take a quick pause here. I want to share something with you here real quick, and we'll come back and explain this in just one moment. So here we go. Hey there, fellow small business owner. I'm sure you've heard the buzz about the upcoming Fundamentals Live event. It's not just an event or training, it's a game changer for entrepreneurs like you, hosted in O'Fallon, Missouri. Well, it's time to reignite that spark and love what you're doing again. I want to give a gift to the very interested people out there who are ready to sign up today. When you sign up before April 15th, you get an amazing no-charge gift. It's 6 virtual milestone meetings after the event. We're going to start on June 14th. Every Friday, there's going to be a bi-weekly meeting to keep your momentum going if you sign up before April 15th for the Fundamentals Live. Are you in? Are you ready for the gift? Head over to osg.link/funlive to get more information and sign up today. Let's make it happen. All right. As I said, I knew we'd have some explaining to do. I get it, right? I said April 15th in there. Today is April 17th if you are tuned in live right now. So you're going, Aaron, you missed it here. We have made the decision that we're going to extend it. We're going to extend it through the end of this weekend. So the 21st, which is Sunday, I believe, if I've got that right. But yeah, we've extended it through the 21st. Since I'm heading off to DAX this weekend, we wanted to make sure that we gave everybody an opportunity that was very interested, that wants to have this momentum builder. So I'm pretty excited about these milestone meetings, So Becky, what are your, I know you're excited about it too.
I am. Our live event, I just think would be a game changer for anybody in a small business that's, kind of right on that verge of making it and not making it. I think it's the one thing that would put you over the edge to success for sure. So, and having this extra gift for having the meetings, the mini masterminds, for lack of a better term. Just having the accountability and the support there, that's going to go, just like this week when you had the support, when you just weren't quite believing that it was going to work, that's what those meetings are going to be for.
Wow. Yeah. Very powerful. Kylene, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I agree with what Becky said. So, obviously the live event, you're going to leave feeling like super energized and excited, and you have your clear path and all of that, but then as you continue to move forward, you're still going to have the tools, but now you're even going to have a meeting where you can ask those questions and get that support and maybe a different perspective on something, and really continue that momentum even more as you move forward. So I think it's super, super amazing to have those follow-up meetings afterward.
Yeah. The live event in general, I know that achieving anything that is fulfilling and worthwhile, right, which is what we're trying to do. We're trying to have people have a business that they're in love with, not just having a business that's quote unquote successful, right? If your business is going and you've got things happening, that's great. But do you really love it? Like, is it to a point where you can't wait to do it? Do you feel like you get to be a business owner instead of you have to do the things today? And that's what this live event is all about, is really kind of about saying, okay, who are those folks that are willing to put their hands up and say, I really want to be fulfilled. I really want to achieve my goals. And I know I need that foundation, right? Because this is going to be, there's no better way. We've tried all sorts of things, from virtuals to different, and we'll certainly continue to do that. I know there's a space for all that, but there is no better way to affect change in people outside of this, right? It's just, this is how learning happens. This is how growth happens, is being able to get in, take in the information, think about how it works for me and my unique situation. Like Kylene was talking about, we're all unique. So it's, it's not comparison. It's about, how does this work for me? And then implementing that. And it's the implementation part that is the biggest challenge for most people. I hear that all the time. Oh, I need to do this. I need to do that. Well, all that is just a lack of implementation so far. Right. So why not just invest in yourself, show up in June and be around people that want you to be successful? To me, it would be, and I get it, right? I'm biased, but to me, it feels like a no-brainer. So if there's a reason why you're hesitating, please reach out to one of us. We'd be happy to talk to you. And again, we're not going to try to sell you on why you should come. We just want to figure out what that block is that's keeping you from having that fulfilling business. So, all right. Did I jump up on my soapbox again there?
It was a small step.
Yeah, it was. I think it's just so amazing to watch people have this transformation. It's kind of like a drug to me. And I just kind of like, I can't help myself. All right. Well, Becky, we've got some uncommon mindset to unpack here this week. So are you ready for that?
I think so.
All right, here we go. All right. Welcome into the Uncommon Mindset. It's so great to have Becky back here, and glad that you're feeling better. And so, Becky, I guess it was now 2 weeks ago, we did an overview of the 12 weeks. So previous to that, right, we went through these 12 weeks of the workshop, the virtual experience we're building as well, kind of breaking down the ideas in the book here. And I had such a good time with that. I just felt like we really were able to unpack a lot of things and discuss things, and the feedback that we were getting in the comments and all that stuff, and so, I was kind of going, okay, what more is there? And you and I were talking about that. We're like, man, there's so much more uncommon mindset that we can unpack here. So today, I guess our thought here is we want to talk about an uncommon mindset that we believe is, it's something, if you can adopt this uncommon mindset, it will allow you to overcome challenges. And honestly, the challenges that we bring on ourselves, that self-sabotage, right? I found myself self-sabotaging more often than I'd like to admit, right? And the culprit of much of the self-sabotage is really due to a common mindset that is just kind of been installed in us based on what the typical common mindset is out there. And I think we end up falling into it without really stopping to think, okay, why is this happening to me? Why? So I guess, Becky, I'm asking you, what is that common mindset that we maybe fall trapped to?
Well, and I think as a small business owner, we don't even realize we're doing it. But the common mindset is that we need to control everything. We procrastinate. We feel that we need to people please. That's just a few of the, I think there's a large iceberg of things there. But, for my business, trying to control things and do all the things, I couldn't move forward and see the progress and the success when I thought I should be seeing those progress and stuff. Bye, Lewis.
Becky,
so because I'm trying to hold so tightly to the things that I thought I should be doing, when really were those things that I could, have somebody help me do, or push off onto somebody else that I could hire to do some of the things. And from there, then the progress can be seen.
Yeah. Yeah. You're so right. I mean, that is exactly it. And like it's something that I face daily too. We're passionate about what we do. You're passionate about what you're doing there, Becky. And I think sometimes that passion, then we start thinking, okay, we got to grip onto it so tight. I have to control everything because I'm the only one that's this passionate about it. And success and getting to run a business that you love is not about that, right? Controlling everything is not going to get you to that business that you love. You're not going to be able to go, I am successful. You started breaking it down there. And I think that's so perfect. Like, what success comes from is how well we adapt, right? How well we can kind of bring fresh ideas, creativity to the table, and how we work with others, right? So when we're controlling everything, we're not working with others. We're telling others what to do. And we're not letting them live in their zone of greatness. We're just trying to control everything. And so I guess what I discovered for me is that our need for control kind of highlights this preconceived notion that we have, that we do have control. I mean, I think that's just it right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, we control. That's not true, right? It's this, there's an illusion that we have control, but what we really have control over is how we respond. We don't have control over the experiences, just kind of the events that happen around us. And then the other thing we don't have control over that we think that we do is what happened in the past. We can't go back and change that. We can't go, oh my gosh, that was terrible. I'm going to really grab onto this tightly and try to change it because I'm just going to think about it nonstop. And we just focus on that, right? And so letting go of that control, that understanding that past experience does not define our future, right? So what we can control and what we should be focused on is why. What is our reason for doing the things that we do, right? And then also the who, as in, who am I in the future? Who do I want to be in the future? And what would that person do, right? Like just acting as if. So I think if we start looking at this from the root cause of it, and this need for control, I would, I think most challenges that we face, if we really dig deeply into the root, you'll find an aspect of fear in there, right? So it's fear of what the future is going. So if I can control it, then I can change the future, right? Is that because I'm afraid of what if this doesn't work out, right? It's the fear of what we can't control, right? Things are going to happen. We're going to have situations that they're not comfortable. Our feelings are going to be hurt. We're going to be put into a bad spot, whatever that is, right? There's things that we can't control that are going to happen. So we're afraid of that. And we're afraid of, like, are we good enough? Do our abilities meet what is needed to achieve this thing that I'm going after, right? So we're afraid of that. But when we start to, exactly, Kim, fear of failure is a big thing. That's a huge thing, right? And so it all comes from that fear. And then the self-sabotage shows up, right? Because that fear tells us we don't have the ability, we can't control the future, right? We don't have any actual control over the things we think we need to have control over. And so we start to self-sabotage there so we can prove that fear right. Like when we have that deep-seated emotion, it's going to manifest itself whether we like it or not. Right. So it's about what we have that deep-seated emotion on. So I guess, Becky, going even deeper into this, where do you feel like these fears come from?
So before I get to that, I want to say, like, for Kylene's segment and talking about, where your focus goes.
Yeah.
That's where it flows. If we think about that a little bit, even in this situation, if you're focused on the fear and the negative, where do you think it's going to go? It's going to head right to that spot. And I think that is, changing that mindset right there is part of our thing, part of the big thing for a small business owner. So,
That's
and for
huge.
the fears, in business, those fears show up when we believe we're good enough, not creative enough, not fill in the blank, all the things,
Yeah.
these limiting beliefs show up when for me, listed a product, didn't sell anything, or not as many as I wanted. If that happens, then, how excited do you think I am to list the next one? And they're both good products. They're both whatever, but yet that fear of going, well, that one didn't work, so why would the next one work? And there again, there's that focus and where it flows. The flow of that focus on that product then went to a negative side, as opposed to, well, look, I sold this many, which was more than zero. That I think is where we need to change that focus.
Yeah. And I'm just smiling ear to ear because it's so, you're so right. I mean, and I think I'm partly smiling because I can feel it myself, right? Like, oh my gosh, Becky's really talking to me here. And I'm also smiling because I know that that's true, right? This is just a truth that we have to embrace, right? Because what you talked about there, right? That we're not enough, we're not this, we're not that. The opposite of that is true. Like, if you can let go of that fear, you will see that the opposite of that is true. You are good enough. You are creative enough. You're borrowing from Becky here. You are all the things, right? And it's those limiting beliefs that then drive that self-sabotage. And so we'll use your example of listing the products. I think that's a great example because that's something, as decorators, as people that are in this product decorating space that we're in together, we feel that, right? So if you list the products and then you immediately become fixated on the outcome, as you put it, how many sold, the needed mindset shift is that we have to let go of that outcome, right? And focus on the process and the necessary improvements. So maybe it didn't sell as many as you thought it might straight out of the gate, but if we're just focused on how many it sold, right, we're going to miss the things that we really need for success. And so you might be hearing this and going, well, wait a second, Aaron, you're like Mr. Goal Setter guy, right? I'm like, yeah, I am. We need goals because they're a magnet, but they're not the focus, right? Then it's not I want to be focused on what my goal is, but I don't want to be focused on what the outcome is, right? And so it's that little nuance. And I think that's where these common mindsets come from, is it's so nuanced that you could miss it if you're not paying attention, right? And the nuance here is that if we obsess over the outcome, we're going to miss the small wins, and those small wins are what continue to build momentum. Excuse me. I don't know why that was a hard word. Momentum and motivation. I guess I was trying to say both of them at the same time. We're going to miss that. And we need those momentum and motivation through those small wins. And we're also going to miss the potential feedback that we're getting, the potential adjustments that could be the detour that we actually need to achieve the goal, right? To get to that sales figure you thought you were going to get, right? And so just because it didn't get there right out of the gate doesn't mean you're not going to get there. The only way that you don't do it, right? And because then you said, okay, how excited I am to list the next product. In a sense, that's almost like we're kind of giving up. Well, I wasn't good enough that time. Why would it be good enough this time? I'm just going to quit. I'm going to take my ball and go home, right? And that's the internal voice, right? That's that internal critic in our head who's acting like that little kid that's going to take his ball and go home or take her ball and go home, right? So the uncommon mindset is your role in success is not the what or the how, but instead to really adopt that process-oriented mindset of kind of refining things along the journey and learning from the setbacks, right? So it's really easy to get fixated on that final result that we're chasing, but we do need to shift our focus from the what to the why. And it's less about controlling the outcomes and more about refining our strategies, learning, growth. And that's where the real lasting success and fulfillment is found. It's how we fall deeper in love with our business is when we love the process, when we love working on that foundation. All the rest of it's going to take care of itself. But it requires that strong foundation, which requires an uncommon mindset, which requires taking some time and doing things a little bit differently than you've always done. So I can't wait to hear what you think about all that, Becky.
Well, and for the limiting beliefs, I mean, that's a struggle I've had. I've probably had it from day one.
Yeah.
And I know it has gotten, easier. Some days definitely harder, but finding the accountability partner to discuss the thing, like having Tanya, having my husband to talk through those things. And for somebody from outside looking in can say, that's not exactly how it is. You're not seeing what I'm seeing. And that makes a difference, positive affirmations, and Kylene's superpower, the gratitude. There's no way to stay in that limiting belief fear factor when we've got gratitude on our side and when we're fully focused on that gratitude. Again, where does the focus go when we start working on the gratitude? Also, I mean, I've used the tapping solution. We've talked about that quite a bit throughout the weeks here. And there's just there's long ones that can take 20 minutes. There's short ones that are 3 to 5 minutes. And even those 3 to 5 minute quick ones can change that vibration within you and make a difference. So, just kind of digging into those, and anybody that's struggling and needs somebody to talk to, we're here. We're more than willing to work with you and kind of, share our superpowers with those too. So,
yeah. Exactly. Well, that's, I mean, like you said, we're here for that. That's what I think our intention is with all this OSG Live, is to build this community, right? But it takes you showing up, right? So like Kim jumping in here and sharing a thought, right? And so be engaged. You've got to be part of that process too, and then we can support each other. So I think that's what a great share there, Becky. Just understanding, like, we all have this, and you're like, and here's how we overcome it. Right. And it doesn't mean that it's going to change and they're just going to go away. I mean, it would be awesome if they just melted away. But I think once you look back at the kind of the process and how you've grown and what you've used as tools along the way to grow, that you've now put in place as just kind of a normal part of your life, right? It will actually seem like it did just melt away. But in that moment, it feels like you're always stuck in that limiting belief. And like you said, having that accountability partner, having that community around you, having that success team, right? That's fundamental number 11 in the book, is to build your success team. And they're there to help you. Again, like you mentioned, when you are kind of in it, you can't see it, right? You've got the blinders on it. And so we do need somebody to remind you, hey, Becky, you are good enough. Hey, Aaron, you are good enough, right? I mean, the Fab Four does that for me. Kylene's my support system and is like the best cheerleader in the world. And so, you just have to have those people around you. And we're ready to be those people for you guys. So speaking of cheerleaders and Kylene, should we bring her back on here to get her take on all this?
Absolutely.
Okay, here we go. I don't know why I keep saying here we go, but welcome back, Kylene.
Yeah. Well, that was great, you guys. There's a lot of things that showed up with the self-sabotage. I really liked how you started with talking about, like, how does it show up for us, and I think that's really important to understand that where it is, so you know how to become aware of it. So the procrastination, the people pleasing, the needing to control things, it just stops us in our tracks, right? We don't move forward, we don't get closer to our dreams. But ending it, and like the positive side of all this is, all of these events that have happened to us is all part of our journey. It's all given us the tools and the experiences and the learning that we need to continue to move forward. So really remembering that, okay, I can learn from this past event. I can't change it, but I can learn and then keep moving forward. I think it's just huge. And then doing something a little bit different next time. For me, I am a creature of habit. And so that awareness has really been game changing for me to continue to move forward and get outside my comfort zone and eliminate some of that self-sabotage that was showing up, for sure.
Yeah. All right. Kim said, there's so much negativity these days in a lot of these Facebook groups. It's important to find a positive, uplifting group. Negativity breeds negativity. Yeah, absolutely. So appreciate you sharing that, Kim. And I think that's what we're trying to build, right? That's the intention that Tanya puts into it. That's the intention that Becky puts into it. That's the intention that Kylene and I put into this group. And, not to be pitching our group here, but if you haven't checked it out and you do want to find a positive, because Kim's exactly right. Negativity breeds negativity. But like Kylene and I were talking about the other day, and she mentioned it during the Wellness Toolbox earlier, you're just one different choice away from getting out of that, though, right? It might feel like a bottomless pit of the world around me is so negative, the negative news, the negative this, the negative that, and it's just, that's what the world is right now. But the reality is that's just the world you're choosing to be in, right? Using one of Tanya's words there. And so if you can choose to get out, like, people always like, oh, did you hear the news about this? I'm like, I didn't. I'm just intentional. I don't need that in my world. I'm not hiding from it. I know the realities that are out there, but that's not what I'm focused on from a day-to-day basis. And so if you want to talk about that, I'll say, hey, cool. When you're done, I'll be over here ready to talk about something positive. So, and this is a really good point, Kim. The opposite is true as well, right? You can very quickly just go, okay, I'm going to eat up all that negativity. And yeah, for sure. I think that's what she was saying. You guys hear something different in that?
Nope, that was it.
Yeah. Okay. And I was going to say that too. I mean, she's in her other comment, it said that negativity breeds negativity. And I was going to say, but so does positivity, that's exactly what our group is there for. We are there to be that accountability partner when you don't have one. We're there with the, whatever it is that you need, a listening ear, some positive affirmations to, help build you up to, we're just there. We're there to rely on. That's where we are trying to, build that community, like you say, and have that positive place to go.
Hi, Cora. Good morning. I think just piggybacking off of that too, Becky, if you don't mind, I love that. The fact of the matter is all that stuff is there available for us, but it does require us to make that move, right? It does require us to put our hand up, right? So like, for example, Becky, you and I get together regularly, right? And we've also created our own mastermind group to bring in but that took you saying, okay, I'm going to take some of my Monday morning and I'm going to intentionally give it to this because I know what's going to come out of that. Right. And, I have a 7:30 in the morning on Saturday mastermind group that, again, I could not show up, but I'm making that choice to show up. Right. We've got the Masters of Success group, and you watch people inside of that. Right. When they show up for themselves, that's when the magic happens. Right. It's when you're hiding, because all that support is there and ready. Like you said, right? If you want to find the negativity, you can find the negativity. But if you want to find the positivity, you want to find that helping hand, it's out there, but it does require your action. And I think that maybe is the thing that people miss, is they just kind of want to sit back and wait. But no, you got to get out there. You've got to comment on the videos. You've got to say, yeah, you know what? Let me try that thing that's a little bit outside of my comfort zone, right? Oh, I don't know about this mastermind meeting thing. Or for me, it's like going to a networking event, right? That gives me anxiety just thinking about it. But I've been intentional about going out there and saying, I'm going to try this because there could be somebody out there that I need to meet, right? And if I don't get out there and do it, I'm not going to meet them. So, yeah, sorry. That soapbox, it's right there. I feel like I have to get on it. All right. Well, without Tanya here to put us on ice, it's a little bit difficult, but I think we can do this.
Yeah.
Choose board time. We want to start there.
Yep.
Are we ready with that? I have to write mine down here, but Kylene, you want to start us off?
Sure.
And sorry, I know I said Kylene start us off, but I just wanted those that are tuned in live right now. What we'd love to hear from you guys is what is it that you're going to choose moving forward, right? So Kylene, maybe you can explain that a little bit more and then share what you choose, and so we can get some comments from those that are tuned in live right now.
You bet. So here's my choose board. I said I'm choosing intention and smiles. So I just need, it's a constant reminder. It's our choice of what we want to bring into our life. So it's that reminder for us that we can choose whatever in Tanya's words, we can choose whatever we want as often as we need it. Did I say it right? I think so.
Yes.
So Becky and Cora, do you guys want to share?
What do you have, Cora? She has the me versus me, which is her thing. And then faith, hope, love. And then she added her smiley face.
Cora, that is awesome.
And I have focus, and Cora added an I love you underneath there, but I have focus so that today can be the work, and tomorrow I cannot have to worry about it.
I love it.
That's great.
All right.
Yes.
And then the little I love you is a reminder that you can love yourself too, right?
Yep.
I love that.
And Chuck says, hit the wrong button.
Yeah,
I choose positivity.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
High five,
Love
Chuck.
it.
Okay. I wrote this before I saw Becky's, but focus as well. So like Becky, I'm leaving tomorrow for the DAX show. And so that eats into the week and got a lot of things. In fact, just thinking about limiting beliefs, Kylene and I are working on a program right now that is going to give people some additional tools to release these limiting beliefs. It's something that has been really powerful for both Kylene and I throughout our work with the success principles and things like that. And so we're there. We're going to wrap up the recording tonight. We'll get it all edited and we'll get it available to people very soon. So look for that coming.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah. I made a commitment to my mastermind group that by the end of the month that would be available. So got to get focused. All right. What's everybody else choosing out there? And just let us know if you are somebody that is catching the replay of this, which totally understand. Love it. If you get in there, make sure to give us the hashtag replay so we know when you're watching it. And then also share your thoughts, share your gratitude, share your thoughts on the wellness toolbox section there. Share your thoughts on uncommon mindset and what are you choosing, right? What are you going to choose for the rest of the week here? And and one other thing, I don't know if I've got it up, but can somebody share the Facebook group one more time?
Mm-hmm.
Just
Oh, thank you, Kylene. I was not finding it.
and tell people what our intention is for the group while I'm looking up this other thing. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So the Fall in Love with Your Business group, I mean, it's truly to connect like-minded people together so we can all grow together, bring more positivity, support, energy to your life and your business. So there's all sorts of different things on there. We're coming up with different ideas of how we can bring even more value to the group, but it's just a way to connect with like-minded business owners that are all on the path of growing their business.
Love it. Thank you guys for doing that. I was trying to track down Tanya's Choose store, so I'll put that in the comments. So if you want your own Choose board, plus lots of other cool things over there, so go check that out. But
and these are the bigger ones, but she has mini ones too, and I would really like one of those in my bag.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Okay, well, there it is. You can just click on that link. We'll get it in the Facebook group as well. But we got a couple other comments of what people are choosing. So I'll let Becky. You want to talk through these?
Yep. Brianna has here, as a beginning small business owner still working for others, I choose to do this for me. That's awesome.
Yes. So, love it. And then the one from Kim here.
Kim says, I choose support. I'm off to a Bible journaling class this morning. It's a very positive, supportive group of women. That sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and Kim, give yourself a pat on the back too. Just again, making that choice right now, you also are bringing it from your end, right? You're going to get filled up with that amazing group of supporting women, but you're also part of that amazing group of supportive women. So I think that's fantastic. All right, everybody.
Tanya, one more time, Aaron.
Yeah.
If anybody noticed that, Kylene and Aaron and our choose boards all look alike. It was red. We all have the same color. Yeah. However, she was gracious enough to do a custom one for Cora. Yeah. So if you want a custom one that maybe speaks a little bit more to you, she would be more than happy to do a custom one also. So
yeah. That's a good point. Yep. Yeah, she's an amazing designer. So, take that opportunity as well. And we hope and wish her a speedy recovery here. Hopefully that rest is getting her back on the mends. I know she's got lots of things that she's working on too. So being sick, as you know, Becky, is not good for productivity.
Adds to the stress.
Nope, it's not. Cora will agree. All right. Thanks, everybody. You guys have a great rest of your Wednesday. We will see you guys right back here next Wednesday.
Have a good week.